All right, so I guess we can get started. And let me introduce again Maxim, Max Ermilov, the CEO and founder of Overnight Finance, and we're happy to see you today, Max. How are you?
Very good. Thanks for hosting.
Yeah, and this is Andy from Overnight Finance, and of course, I'm hosting this event and all of the following ones, and we can kick it off, I guess, right? All right. So, well, the first news which we have for today is the getting ready for launch program. So, as you guys know, no, it's actually the first time with you when we're talking about that. We're gearing up to roll out a reward program to incentivize liquidity provisions for USD Plus. This is really a huge initiative and would entail early participants earning our ICO token when it's live, which will be called OVN at discounted rates. So, if you're interested in obtaining our ICN token OVN, make sure to start farming it with this reward program. Well, thing is that we believe that USD Plus holds massive potential to revamp and to, like, really revolutionize how liquidity provisions function across the DeFi world. And by using excess liquidity from liquidity pools, Overnight's USD Plus generates its holders additional rewards from our yields through our vigorously tested yield farming strategies. So, Max, can you tell a little bit more about, okay, why are we launching this rewards program, and what is our goal for this initiative?
Yeah, the thanks, Andy. I think the reward program is really about growing the awareness of USD Plus and getting more users kind of try it and making it more accessible. So the more liquidity, in particular on Quickswap, where we launched two pools for USD Plus, the more opportunities there are for people to buy directly with, in this case, ETH, Matic, or any other crypto which Quickswap trades. And so, it's just really kind of reaching out to people and making it like putting the product on the shelf, essentially. And now, once it's on the shelf, we need to promote it, and we want to give the early adopters a very unique opportunity. So I don't like the idea of a discounted price of the future token, but one of our angels is Brian Tubergen, and Brian is the founder of CoinList, as you know, the kind of number one ICO house. It's like the Goldman Sachs of ICOs. And he invested into us, and we of course welcome his investment a lot because we want to do an ICO at some point in time. And as you know, it's very difficult to get allocations at those ICOs. Typically, CoinList would limit you to $1,000 or something like this of allocation per person. And so, what we want the early adopters to kind of to gain with this reward program is actually to guarantee themselves the allocation. So the way it would work is that you can put money into the pool, like you can lock in the LP tokens from QuickSwap on our site, and you will be farming the pre-OVNs. Each pre-OVN will give you $1 worth, so one USDC or one USD plus worth of OVNs at ICO, and a 25% bonus, not a discount bonus, 25% bonus on top. So, and why we're paying the bonus? Because you need to wait until the ICO. Not because we want to kind of devalue, it's just because you're farming it now. It's $1 right now, like $1 worth right now. But you get the ICO tokens, the OVNs, when the ICO happens. And that, of course, is subject to market conditions, so you might have to wait. But that's why there is this 25% on top. So we believe this is quite a unique design, the ability not just to farm extra yield, but the ability to farm your allocation in the future ICO. We believe that's quite cool, and that's actually never been tried before, to my knowledge.
Got it. Do you have an understanding of how much a person can can farm, how much of pre-OVNs a person can farm, like before the ICO? Like, is it like 10 USDCs, or it's unlimited?
Yeah. So uh, we believe that, for us to grow and for people to get to know kind of to about USD Plus more, we'll be kind of targeting for the LP providers to get like 20% APY in pre-OVNs. So providing kind of quite a cool yield already with pre-OVNs, and with the 25% bonus, that's actually becoming even cooler. Yeah, that's what people should be farming. We don't want to put a limit on how much one can farm overall. So we will not be limiting like you to 1,000 POVNs or 2,000 POVNs. Just the entire program at this point in time will be 100,000 POVNs max. So the promotion will last until kind of people have farmed 100,000 POVNs to start with, and then we'll see.
Got it. So it can be even one person, right? First come, first serve, right?
Well, it will be difficult to have just one person because this person would need to put in a lot of money to get the whole 100,000 within a couple of days. But we are collecting kind of the applications. But yeah, we will be paying out yield on a daily basis, and so this is going to be kind of allocated to all those who lock in the LPs. There is already probably 250,000 worth of LPs being locked as in anticipation of the start of the program launch. And as people come in, the program will last as long as we have this 100,000. So indeed, the more people come and the more LPs are locked in, the faster 100,000 will run out of this 100,000.
Got it. Got it. Well, I think that we're all very excited about this. Yeah, I can't wait for it to launch. So we will keep the audience informed of when we're launching this. Stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe to our Twitter and Telegram. We will post the announcements there. Don't miss this opportunity. Moving on. Oh, by the way, do you have any questions in chat about the reward program? Um, we have three, like we have a couple of questions, but not about the reward. So we'll get that later today. Let's move on to the Meshswap integration. So, as you guys know, we connected the Meshswap finance protocol to our Polygon strategies. Meshswap is an AMA-based decentralized exchange protocol to which actually utilizes assets on Polygon. Um, our strategy on AMM involves lending USDC to earn a whopping 30-ish% paid in mesh automatically. So we are paid in mesh and we sell it right away, and we redistribute the value to our to USD plus holders. And what is good about Mesh is that the pool has a pretty high number of $25 million, which reduces chances of excess pool utilization. Maxime, where did you find Mesh? Like, how did it come out to you? And yeah, how did you make this call to just start exploring this?
Yeah, Mesh Swap is a project which we got to know from the Polygon community, in particular from Polygon team. They were in talks with the DeFi team at Polygon, and a lot of people got to know that they were coming. They are part of a very global project, a Korean company called Osis, and that's one of the projects they're producing. They are very, very solid technically, very famous, and we've been due diligence many, many times. We have huge community, and we just knew that was going to be a big deal. So we were able to anticipate their launch, and because we were able to anticipate their launch, we were able to kind of connect and be among the first to have invested into them. As you know, when a new project launches, at the beginning yields are huge, and then they typically come down. So we were able actually to connect second day of the launch, after the launch, to them and start kind of farming, and that's why kind of you saw probably the big spike in the daily yields of USD Plus, which was at some point over 17%. We allocated like 30% to USDC lending on Meshswap. It has since gone down. I think at the moment it's 12. So, but still very reasonable for USDC lending. Yeah. So as I said, very solid project. Very well known in the community. 1 week after the launch, they already have 600 million TVL, 600 million. So we are very excited about working jointly with them. I think we also want to list USD Plus on Meshswap too.
Yeah, makes total sense. Any questions about Mesh Swap, guys? Um, sure, there is one question from J G Garter in Telegram. I see they ask, so are there rewards program for overnight users? And what other programs do you offer to your community? A loyalty program, an ambassador program, or a referral program?
Mm. Yeah, so the reward program is going to target the LPs into the Quickswap, but we do also want to offer certain rewards, extra rewards for people who buy USD Plus and hold it, or like lock it in over a prolonged period of time, again to make USD Plus more popular. But at the moment, we really our kind of number one priority is promoting the pools with USD Plus. And I can tell you that people who LP into like ETH, USDC pools, Matic USDC pools, things like this, they should really take note of these pools of ETH, USD Plus. Why? Because, you know, as opposed to USDC, the pool behaves exactly the same way as ETH, USD Plus, USDC, except that USD Plus is producing yield while in the pool. This completely changes the economics of the pool. It gives a lot of extra yield,
Yeah.
and so whoever is LP in should be forgetting the pools with USDC and moving to USD Plus. It just makes there are no disadvantages, just advantages, and just that's it.
Yeah, makes total sense. Moving on. The next news is whitelisting on 1inch. So we've been recently, pretty much last week, we've been added to 1inch, and now we can be traded not only through on our dapp but also on their dapp. Maxime, why is it important? And yeah, well, first of all, huge congrats, but like, tell us more about like why is it important?
Yeah, a lot of people want to see that. Well, first of all, it makes it so accessible. So the product had been built one time before, but now we're putting it on the shelf, just making people aware where the shelf is, and or like where are all the shelves where people can grab the USD Plus from or use it. And 1inch makes such a possibility, so people can be reassured this is a proper token, it's a proper project, because 1inch would not kind of whitelist whoever, like random projects or random tokens. That's one thing, and so a lot of people can just use 1inch to make sure that kind of due diligence the project. But also it helps people kind of to buy it, like instead of minting it from USDC, you have ETH, Matic, or any other random token. 1inch helps you make the transition very efficiently from that random token to USD Plus on Polygon. So that's really opening the world of possibilities. Another opportunity that's opening is integration with Rubik. Rubik, as you know, is our partner with whom we cooperate, so that people can bridge, who want to buy USD Plus can bridge from other blockchains to Polygon and buy USD Plus. And so once we are listed on 1inch, it actually opens an opportunity for people not just to bridge USDC to Polygon and mint USD Plus. It gives people an ability to use whatever token they have on other blockchains to buy USD Plus on Polygon. So, for example, imagine you're on Phantom, you're getting tired of Phantom, you want to buy USD Plus. In the past, you had to take USDC, move to Polygon, and mint or buy. Now, what you do, you just go to Rubik and you just buy USD Plus directly from there, because Rubik, will bridge your money and then use 1 inch to buy USD Plus. So that's really kind of making so much easier for people to access USD Plus overall.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Max. There's a question about Mesh Swap. When I choose to use DEX, I always care about fees. So how about fees on Mesh Swap to compete to other DEXs? This is a question from Greece.
Yeah, yeah. I think the fees are competitive, but the way we farm on Mesh, or like USD Pass generates yields from Mesh, is through lending. So they have an opportunity for us to make a deposit of our USDC into the lending vault, and that doesn't have the fees. That's just pure deposit and withdrawal, and we get the yield. So that's basically it. Uh, we was considering to deploy the USDC USDT kind of pool and invest in there on Meshswap, and that indeed would involve, in our case, some fees, the conversion to USDT, and also kind of some fees associated with that. Uh, but we chose to wait until Meshswap kind of stabilizes. In particular, they release not just ABY and API documentation, but also kind of full technical documentation, open update GitHub before we do so. In the meantime, we found without any fees.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Max. Moving on to the next news. We have launched liquidity pools on Quickswap. Um, can you tell the audience what is it? Why is it important? And what is it we're launched? We have just launched.
Yeah, we launched ETH USD Plus pool and Matic USD Plus pool on QuickSwap. This pools, behave exactly like ETH USDC and Matic USDC. So USD Plus really follows the pack to USDC and is very close to the same. So many people now can buy USD Plus. Arbitrageurs can make arbitrage and make kind of arbitrage between USDC USD Plus via those pools. LPs can kind of provide liquidity into those pools, and then actually use the LPs to get the rewards from USD Plus, or will be able to get the LPs to receive rewards from USD Plus. So many things that we have those pools open the possibility for. So that's a very big step forward over there. Actually, the entire concept of USD Plus is kind of USD Plus is a means to improve capital efficiency without risk or without sacrificing liquidity. And so by launching this pools, we're actually bringing to market this kind of breakthrough innovation. In a typical liquidity pool, ETH USDC, for example, you can earn fees and sometimes rewards. In ETH USD Plus, it's exactly the same from all kind of risk reward perspective as ETH USDC, but on top of that, you are getting the yield from USD Plus, which is generating while in the pool. So on all dimensions, these pools are equal or better to ETH USDC because it's just fees and rewards. But because of the yield USD Plus is generating while in the pool, it's so much more capital efficient. It's actually so much more profitable comparing to pools which contain USDC do not produce yield. So, I mean, we are obviously very excited about this innovation, and we hope that the more people will understand it while it's live, and that more people try it and get to see all the benefits of that.
So essentially, you're saying that for everyone who provided liquidity to ETH USD Plus and Matic USD, sorry, ETH USDC and Matic USDC, they should switch to the same pools but with USD Plus. any downsides of this shift? Like anything that you can think of? Like I don't know, like anything that may prevent people from going there?
Well, if you're the LP, we don't see any issues. It's actually, as I said, the same or better on every dimension. So because it's the same as ETH USDC, but instead of
Yeah,
USD Plus is also producing yield. So
yeah,
if you're LP in, you're just so much better. And also, if you are an arbitrageur, that actually opens for you in market to arbitrage ETH USD Plus against ETH USDC. Because once you see the difference between ETH USD Plus and ETH USDC, you can actually, take a flash loan with USDC, mint more USD Plus, and execute a transaction which kind of rebalances and helps you get the arbitrage. We actually look forward to arbitrageurs to start trading USD Plus as much as possible, though in those pairs, generating fee income for the LPs, but also making money themselves and kind of reducing the spread against USDC. So I mean, a lot of opportunities those trading pairs are opening up for everyone.
awesome. Yeah, that's really exciting. Let's see how it evolves. And we're moving on to our next news. Let's see. Do we have any questions about what we discussed with Quickswap or 1inch? All right, this is not about it. This is not about it. I think I've seen a question about security audit
I think
there.
you asked about audit, right?
Yeah, there was one question about audit. I cannot find it. Like, thanks guys for posting your questions in the thread. Um, yeah, there was one. Hold on.
I think it was at 18.7 or something like this. I can maybe answer this. It's what at 1804 in Telegram uh, about the audit.
Yeah, can you read it, Max?
Yeah. So Greece asks, I understand overnight DeFi smart contract has been audited by Hacking Network, which speaks great about your project's credibility. But do you think just one audit is enough to detect all loopholes and bugs in the contract? Therefore, do you have any plans to audit with other top audit platforms like Certic in the future? So first of all, we don't rely on the audit for detecting loopholes and bugs. We have a very thorough risk management process inside, and we follow so-called 3 lines of defense. So first line is kind of developers writing code and doing peer reviews of each other. So that's our first line of defense. Then we have a special person who has audit experience himself and who is a very experienced kind of developer whose job is to look into other people's code randomly and try to kind of break it and find loopholes and bugs and everything. So not as a part of peer review, but is part of risk management. And so that's our second line of defense, so kind of internal risk management, if you wish. And only then we rely on the audit. In our experience, the auditor should not find many things, not because they shouldn't find it, but because we should write such a code that auditor has nothing to find. Because we cannot rely on a third party beyond our control. Most auditors do a good job. Sometimes they don't. We don't want to be the part of like 1%, 2% of auditors who accidentally missed a bug in our code. We catch all the bugs ourselves, and then we let auditors realize that um, our guys have been doing a good job in writing smart contracts. So hacking is good. It was important to get the first audit. Now we are thinking about the second. I think the plan is that before the ICO, we'll have another, like before the public sale, we'll have another audit. Certic is certainly one of the candidates. Maybe we'll actually, we'll order 2 audits. I don't know. Maybe there will be one audit for the token, another one for the governance. We'll see. But so far, indeed, the plan is to have one more audit, just because it's just good practice that from time to time to run an audit, like at least 2 times a year, I believe is the right sequence, maybe 3. So we'll see. But certainly before the public sale, we will do it again. But don't expect them to find a lot of loopholes or bugs. We should catch them all before.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on to the next news. We've been featured on Nasdaq, and this is a big name. This is a pretty big name, and they wouldn't let us in without a big story. So, and the story is which stable coins could benefit from upcoming regulations. Maxime, this is your article, and you were. Yeah, you were like you were called an author for Nasdaq, which is really exciting. Can you tell a bit more about the upcoming regulations and just the summary of what you wrote there was so why
Yeah.
yeah.
Overall, we believe that regulators is coming hard after the stable coins because, like, we analyzed the draft regulations and they cover in the whole of crypto, all types of tokens. But the whole market at the time of the writing the article was about 2 trillion, of which just 200 billion was stable coins, so less than 10%, like about 10%. But half of the regulation was about the stable coins. So disproportionately more regulation for stable coins than for the rest of the crypto. And the regulators seems to start to understand how things work. And actually, we're quite excited about the depth of understanding of the regulator of how the market is moving. We believe guys who are sound projects will get some burden and will have to comply with regulations and kind of do those things. But it will not be too difficult for them. Guys like USDC or ourselves, who are built in advance to comply with whatever future sensible regulation is, um, will not have any issues. The guys who, mm, like for example, algorithmic stablecoins, which some people find hard to understand what's behind them, and how is the value kind of what those stable coins are kind of backed up with. Those guys will have hard time explaining to the regulator and complying with the new regulation. So overall, we believe the regulation is going to be good for good projects, bad for bad ones, but it will protect a lot of people and will benefit solid guys like USD Plus to a much higher degree because it will just kill a lot of competition who is able to pay huge APY at the moment, but then not necessarily will exist in a year or two.
Got it. Yeah, no, this is super exciting, and I know that you're a bit hard on algorithmic stable coins, but certainly for a reason. um yeah, in this regard, USD Plus has a very strong advantage that USD Plus as a stable coin is collateralized by USDC, USDT only, and currently only, and will not be affected by this regulation. So yeah,
Yeah, well, it's actually, it's very easy for a regulator to understand. It's built with kind of compliance in mind because it's built a little bit like a money market fund. So there's very reliable, very low risk, very liquid collateral producing some yield and instantly kind of liquid collateral, so which allows us to mint and redeem USD Plus against USDC on demand, one on one. So it's very easy for the regulator to understand because they can immediately draw the parallel with money market fund, and they understand how that works and understand that sound. That's actually probably the least risky type of investment, so they will like it. Things which are kind of more innovative, like algorithmics, which do not have an equivalent in the fiat world, like USD Plus has, will have to struggle just because regulator will be struggling too.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
everybody struggles, everybody struggles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and the last news probably for today is we have been so not selected, but we actually went into the top 10 highest weekly volume dapps on Polygon. Well, we have been traded like just for how many, like it's just like for like 10 days so far, like 1 week.
Yeah, yeah. yeah, since 28th or 27th of April. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first full week was we made it top 10. I think we launched the pools, and USD Plus is so easy to arbitrage against USDC with flash loads. So what we saw were arbitrageurs who would kind of looking at the pair USD Plus against ETH and USD Plus against Matic, and they were comparing it to the ETH USDC, Matic USDC, and they were able to arbitrage the pair by taking flash loans in USDC, minting USD Plus and USD Plus against ETH Matic, or kind of doing the other way around, kind of taking flash loan with ETH Matic, send for USD Plus, and then redeeming USD Plus for USDC, and then kind of closing the loop. And so there were a lot of trades that way, and there was a lot of activity. A lot of fees were generated for the LPs into our pools. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
that is exciting. Yeah.
And that's exactly what we worked to establish. And but to make it in the top 10 first week is actually quite. I didn't realize. I think the market volatility has also helped a lot. So if what the market stable, there will be less arbitrage opportunities, so there will be less trades, and so there will be less turnover. But because ETH and Matic went down so much, constant arbitrage was required, and that's how the trading volume has started and materialized.
Awesome. That's great. I guess this is it for today in terms of the news.